Right, okay, fan reaction time then. Watford 1, Burnley 2. That's all that matters. That scoreline right there is all that matters, and I could end the video here because that is all that matters. We got the win, and that's all that matters. Look, obviously buzzing we've got the win. Before I get into it all again, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Great to meet loads of people today at Watford who came up and said hello, told me that they watched the channel, they watched the 60-second review, they listened to the podcast. I love it, absolutely love it. I appreciate everything. All I ask is that you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. As I've said before, the liking apparently really helps with the algorithm or whatever. This is what these YouTubers who know what they're on about tell me. And I keep saying, let's try and beat the record for the Coventry game where we got 230 likes, and we're just always a little bit away from it. A little bit away. So let's try and do it again for this one. Let's get over 233 likes, I think it was, for Coventry. But anyway, I've just got back now. Well, I've been back about 45 minutes to an hour. It's 11 PM at the time of recording this. I am knackered. 3.5 hours in the car on the way there, 3.5 hours in the car on the way back. I am goosed, but it is worth it, man. And I'm doing it all again in 8 days' time for QPR because I may have managed to get tickets. But yeah, buzzing, absolutely buzzing with it. That's why we do it, innit? That is why we do it. You go 1-0 down, you're frustrated, you deserve to be 1-0 down. And then the lads pull it out of the hat when they probably didn't deserve it. I think on the bouncer play, maybe in the second half, you could argue that we did, but I think we were quite fortunate today, if I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really feel like we ever got going, even in that second half. Anyway, let's go through the game like I always do. Started slowly, went 1-0 down, and then we were awful. We were awful in that first 40 minutes. I don't ever really like singling players out too much these days. I think when I started the channel I probably did it a little bit too much without ever really trying to be sort of like abusive is the wrong word, but sort of like picking on people. Sorry if I look weird then, I was taking my shoes off. But I thought Edwards were awful, and I think a lot goes through him. So when he plays poor, we play poor, and I thought he were poor today. So many misplaced passes from him, and not just him. Like they were all doing it. Brownell were doing it. Cullen were doing it. There was a lot of misplaced passes. Even Steve and CJ were putting a couple astray as well, and especially CJ. We know what he's like with the pings. But yeah, we deserve to be 1-0 down. I've not seen it back, but at the time I felt like maybe Trafford could have done a little bit better with it. But again, super picky. Haven't seen it back yet. But he just kind of like tips it onto the post. I don't know if he's already behind the line when he tips it onto the post, to be fair. He might be, I've not seen it back. And then obviously it hits the post and then goes back in. So it probably was already behind the line. And then we just couldn't get into the game, and I'm getting super frustrated at that point, like really frustrated with how poorly we were playing. I was getting quite animated in the away end and stuff, and I didn't think we were going to do it. And in that moment I'm starting to panic. I'm starting to think, like, I've been quite cool and calm and sort of like not really getting too worried about this promotion race because we've always been in third for like a large part of it, or feels like we've been like not the third best, but the team in third chasing the other two. And in that scenario I don't personally get too worried and too concerned because there's nothing to lose. But now it's in our own hands again and we can lose it. That's when I personally start getting a little bit nervous. It probably seems a little bit weird that but that's just the way that I am as a person, I think. And then in that moment when we're not playing well in the first half, they're 1-0 up, I'm starting to worry about like the playoffs. That's where my mind's going. I'm thinking, playoffs here, come on, we need to win. Lose this, lose next week, we're out the top three, top two. And then do we break back into it, especially when Sheffield United have got Blackburn on the last day of the season. So, you know, that's a guaranteed win. So that's where my head was going. I were even thinking, like, what if we don't go up and Edwards leaves, CJ leaves, Steve leaves, Trafford leaves, Anthony leaves. That's just where my head was at in that first half. But obviously, wow, pulled it out of the absolute bag. James Trafford, take a bow. I stood in this kitchen and slated that man. Slated's harsh, it's an extreme word. But I said several times in this kitchen that he was not good enough for the Premier League. I did always caveat that by saying I do think he will be class. I do think he will go on to have a great career. I do think he'll go on to be England's number one. And I also said I felt like Vincent Kompany left him out to dry quite a lot last season. But I also did, I'll own it, I also did say I don't think he was good enough for the Premier League last year. But wow, that save, I was right behind it, like literally right behind it. I could see it sailing into the top corner. And I shouted, effing hell, it's in. And then this arm just comes from nowhere. Like I wish in that moment I had like them Ray-Ban glasses on that film stuff. I want you all to be able to see what I could see in that moment. Superb save. The best save I've seen live, I think. I'm trying to think of another one. Pope's made a good few, obviously, down the years, as has Heats. But I think that Zlatan Ibrahimovic one, actually. I'm just thinking out loud now. But it's up there. That save from Trafford today is up there. And then let's not forget the one after we've equalised. That's a good one as well. But yeah, without James Trafford today, we lose that match. And that is a fact, because that goes in the back of the net. So obviously Trafford tips it onto the bar. We counter-attack 1-1. Get in. And what a time to score as well. That's why that save is so important, and I'm focusing on this save a lot. And it was massive. Trafford was massive for us today. He has come on so much this season, so much. He's been a joy to watch. It's been a joy to watch him this year. It's been a joy to watch him turn into the goalkeeper that he is. And we all thought he was going to be, but we weren't really seeing it last year. Superb save. And then obviously we go up 1-1. Great time to score just before half time. And then Trafford again, as I've already kind of mentioned very quickly. Trafford again. We then nearly throw it away again in the first half. Trafford makes another save. Connor from the One Leeds fan channel did actually send me a voice note at half time saying the second save's even better than the first. I haven't seen them back. I feel like the first one is the best one. But again, it's probably just because of the angle that I was at, and it looked destined for top bins. It really, really did. Second half, we started brighter, we did look better. Still not really as good as we could have been, but then we did look better than Watford at that point. We looked like the better team, and then obviously we get our noses in front. Josh Brownhill again. How do some people not rate that man? I know he didn't play that well in the first half, I'll immediately come in with that, but he just always pops up with goals. Big goals as well when we need them. 3 years ago, at Watford. Who was the man that scored the late winner? Joshua Brownhill. I find it staggering that some people don't like him, and they always try and say, oh, well, it's because he's not very good at an 8, but he's good as a 10. He's still coming up with these goals in these moments when he's not playing well and playing out of position. If Josh Brownhill leaves at the end of the season, he will be a big miss. I don't care what anybody says. But again, he probably didn't play that well in the grand scheme of the game today. But again, was played a little bit deeper than he would like and still managed to pop up with the goal. He's a big moments man, a big moments player, and he's done it again today. Fantastic. And as Lee said, thank you to Lee for the first ever fan reaction, by the way, and thank you to Tom for the first ever fan reaction. If you haven't seen them videos already, please go over and check them out and give them a like on the video and give them some support in the comments, because I always like it when people send their first videos in. People, if you want to send videos in, I'm always up for videos. I will put them out. I will always edit them out for you. So go and show them guys some love. Really do appreciate it. I haven't seen the red cards back, but they did seem a little bit like, what on earth is going on here? I'm not sure if the referee lost control of the game or the Watford players lost their heads. It felt a bit more like the Watford players had lost their heads. I'll be honest, I didn't even see the first one. I just saw Zian on the floor because we were still celebrating. Obviously, I'm there with my little boy. I'm still sort of like, yeah, come on. I'm explaining to him what it means and stuff. And love that, by the way. It's the best feeling in the world. Love taking him to away games. But then I turn around and I see Zian on the floor. And I'm like, what's going on? And then he gets a yellow card out. And I'm thinking, hey, this guy's not been booked before, so it's a red. It's a yellow. And then he just gets, I'm like, when did he even get booked in the first place? And obviously, again, they go down to 9 men. My only criticism... Well, it's not my only criticism, is it? I've just spent the last 10 minutes, but I need to wrap this up. 10 minutes talking about how poor we were in the first half. But we should have killed that game off. When they go down to 9 men, Why are we just piss-farting about with it and trying to take the sting out of the game to keep it at 2-1? I kind of understand it. Just kill them off. Just kill them off. That last 10 minutes were unnecessary. We nearly not lost it, but we nearly drew it at the end. Trafford has to make another good save. That's my only criticism. Well, my main criticism. It's not even the first half. It's the fact that we didn't put the game to bed when they were down to 9 men and we were just piss-farting about with it. Just go and get the goal. And that last 10 minutes were just completely unnecessary. They were unnecessary and I'm panicking. Trafford's making saves. Unnecessary. But look, despite the poor first half, despite the fact that we didn't kill the game off, despite the fact that Leeds and Sheffield United have won, what a day, what an away game. That's why we do it. And yeah, it's going to take one monumental cock-up to not be promoted from this bit. And that's why have I said that? That's the bit that somebody's going to clip up, show Sheffield United sticking 6 passes. That's obviously not going to happen. But yeah, buzzing with today. 1 foot in the Prem. Nah, 1.5 feet. I'm tired. 1.5 feet in the Prem. Massive win today. We needed that. I remember talking to someone outside the ground. He's like, I'd take a draw today, even if Blades win, keep the gap so they can't go above us. Like, get the win. Just get the win. And we got the win. And that is huge. Get in there, Burnley.